with meteorologist Julia Blanchette.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Today on your Wednesday, you're expecting a really warm forecast just like yesterday, but we are really talking about the warming trend that's taking place on your Thursday. Tomorrow, 90 degrees, Friday 93, Saturday 96, and on Sunday things take a turn, which means we can actually get close to hitting triple digits. On Sunday, we're projected to hit about 98 degrees, and that would break the record of about 97, which means we are again abnormally warm. And we have a warm next few days, but luckily we have a little bit of a cool down on the way right after our abnormally warm forecast, because on Monday we have a storm system kicking up which should drop us down to the mid 80s. So we could break a record high and reclaim it on Sunday, but above all else we are abnormally warm here in western Colorado, and you're really enduring the heat this week. So let's take a look at the rain forecast so you have something to look out for by the end of the week. You might see a few dark clouds here and there here in western Colorado all the way throughout the day today and all the way throughout the day tomorrow. It'll be more so towards the afternoon, and that's because there's a few small convective cells up in the high country. None of it's going to produce much moisture, and if it does, it'll be really brief and incredibly light. None of it gets down to us here in the Grand Valley, or at least down in the low valley points, so we're expecting to be dry nearly all week. But if we take a look at what changes on Sunday, I mentioned a big storm system, and the storm system looks to have a lot of convective ability, which means it has a lot of room to grow, and we're starting to see about a 20% chance of that moisture gathering overnight right before the midnight mark going into Monday, which is a 50% chance on Monday, and hopefully we'll start to combat some of our drought conditions. Again, this should just help us stay on top of our severe drought rather than eliminate it, which is something we really need to do, especially with our temperatures trending so warm and our winter being so dry. But if we take a look at what you're expecting today, it's more of the same, just a whole lot of sunshine. On your way out the door, you might not even want a jacket. You're looking at 61 degrees at 7 a.m. and then by 11 about 77, and by the time you reach the afternoon and into the evening, you're only expecting to get warmer. Your high today again 89 degrees, so right around 3 p.m. 86 and 5 p.m. 88. So if you have dinner outside, have the chance to go for a walk, you're definitely going to feel that heat, and the sun feels incredibly strong, but don't be surprised if you have a few passing clouds here and there. And we're at that point in the year where not much else goes on besides high pressure and the chance for a little bit of turbulence down the line. So nonetheless, if I haven't mentioned your location yet, you're expecting about 74 in Meeker today, about 80 in the Colbron area, 89 in Grand Junction and in Delta, 84 in Montrose, and 85 in Cortez. And then the low temperatures, about 43 in Meeker, and then about 51 in Colbron. The Grand Junction area, about 58, Delta 53, 51 in Montrose, and 45 in Cortez. So even overnight, it's pretty warm.
As an emergency room physician, I worked in level 1 trauma centers for years. I know what happens back there. One ambulance after another, with injured patients and lives that are changed forever. I understand. I took care of those people. Thank you. Now, as an attorney, my team and I care for the same people, but in a different way, working to get our clients' lives back to normal. If you've been injured, our medical and legal expertise provides a unique advantage. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
Your week-long trend is just a whole lot of sunshine, maybe a little rain by the end, and really warm temperatures. You're 89 today in Grand Junction and 90 by Thursday. Friday and Saturday, 93 turns to 96 before we hit 98 and adopt the moisture here in Grand Junction. Montrose will follow a very similar pattern. About 84 on your Wednesday, turning to 85 on your Thursday. Finally, by the time you reach Saturday and Sunday, 90 degrees turns to 91, and then by Monday and Tuesday, 82 on both days. So the rain will cool us down effectively. The Delta area will also be up in the 90s, nearing the triple digits by the end of the weekend. About a 20% chance for moisture Sunday going into Monday, and you could again see that 50% chance for moisture on Monday itself. And Cortez will also hit the 90s over the weekend, 91 degrees, maybe a little bit of cloud coverage here and there leading up to it, but above all else, really warm temperatures, so wear your sunscreen since it will be so abnormally warm over the next week.